great war comes as we know it must. And the government says it's time for every citizen to go and fight to the death.
Hey, it's Guido coming at you with a tactics talk. I've got a subscriber platoon here. I have platooned with LP Bronco and his IS-6B Tier 8 Premium Russian heavy tank, and I'm in my 112 Tier 8 Premium Chinese heavy tank, and we've got Natso from my clan cartel in his Super Pershing. We've loaded into highway and we are in the northeast spawn. You can see that we are a platoon in the middle of a 3-5-7 with some tier 9s on top, and as we are driving heavies we're going to head over to the town, which is pretty typical. You'll find that the mediums, lights and such will go over to the northeast, northwest, and fight up here in this corner right here. As we are heavies we're going to head down into the town. That's pretty typical. Sometimes there's a bit of a scrap here. I've got a T-30, one of our tier 9s is alone and unafraid, headed straight for the middle right there. This is not a bad spot with a hold down tank. If he can get up in here without being wrecked, he will have some shots up on these guys potentially. We'll see how he ends up working out, but this is a platoon, and as I said with a subscriber, with LP Bronco, we're going to end up having a pretty good day. It's a good example of platoon coordination, so this one will be called platoon coordination. Right off the bat we end up losing a bulldog, and it's not looking so hot up in the northwest. We've got some tanks in there, but more than likely they're not going to last very long. There's a CDC giving them a little bit of sniper support over there, but we need to get into this town and deal with whatever is coming up this way. You'll note that the 4502s are platoons, so I expect those two guys to be together. And based on their rate of fire and the decent ability of their guns, they could be trouble depending on how they play. Now, I like what the Bulldog did. There's a couple things about that. Of course, the bummer is he's not up here helping these guys, so that is a bit of a limitation on where he went. The good news is he's letting us know what's coming up here and giving us a little SA on this fight in the town. So it is a bit of a trade-off there. I'll show you what I'm doing with my camera. I'll get in here and tuck up, move around a little bit, try to make that 4502 miss. The other one is in the center there. The T-29 has moved forward and taken an aggressive position, which I like. I'm going to try to support him on that. Take a shot. The 4502 looks like he might have wanted to come out. The IS-2 is over there fighting the KV-3, which gives me an opportunity to cross this road. I also know the Conway isn't up in here, and that's one of my bigger concerns, so he's not here. So anything they've got here we can handle. Gonna side scrape here. Unfortunately go right into the top plate or on the crease. Make him miss. Just good side scraping tank. Provided you don't over angle too much. Lots of tracks to hit too. Come out there. Bait him into a shot into a track. And I am discussing this. You can't hear our comm because I didn't record that, but we're talking to LP Bronco, myself, and Natso, and me and LP Bronco are talking about taking out these 4502s. You can see that coordination and teamwork takes them down pretty quick. I'll just push in on that guy. I know the Conway isn't back there, so he's over here. One of the problems with being on this part of the road is if he's sitting back up here, he can shoot right down and hammer you, but I knew he wasn't there, so I don't have to worry about him. The arty is a concern, but it's not that big of an arty. For a wonder, I haven't been shot right here. Now Natso says, hey, I got him. You see that Natso worked his way through the middle of the town right there, and now he has come in to support. So I just keep that guy busy. Natso puts a shot onto him, and now I start working on the back of the 100.1. Now I do something here that I talk about not doing. I'm very fixated on shooting this guy, and what I don't do in between, there was no reason just to sit there and zoom. I could have actually looked around, and I may have even noticed that that T-29 was coming up to take a shot, which would have let me push forward into the 100.1 and not take that shot into the side. So that's just camera work. I know the 100.1's dead. I'm ammo racked. I'm never going to reload in time, so I just back out and away from this T-29. Now we are starting to discuss coordination-wise. All right, 3 of us are still alive. It's looking like we got a bit of an advantage, but we have noticed that this guy's trolling around in the backfield, and there's only a couple, 3 guys left here, and most of their force is back over here. So we're discussing right now, we need to take down the T-29 and go back to cap. And there'll be an interesting comment here as we go as well. I shoot right into his turret, which ends up bouncing, so no surprise right there. And right now I'm saying we need to go back. We're going to go track down this T-43. All those guys that are back up here in the northwest are no factor to us right now. We can deal with them later. We've got 3 guys and we're all in pretty good shape. Now I tuck into the city here. I just don't want to give, if the convoy is repositioned or the Saint Emile or something is close enough within draw distance to shoot us. If you highlight yourself on this edge, you can take a shot in the side. Nobody's on the cap, so I can take a bit of a meandering route through here. I'm also trying to avoid Artie. Of course, the knocking down the buildings is letting Artie know where I am. So let's go find this T-43, and guess what? So just like what I said, we have lost up here in the northwest. You'll notice over here on the chat, why heavy's no cap? Well, I'll tell you why I'm not capping. We won our flank. We got a guy behind us. We got a bunch of fast tanks that can get up on our cap, and they've got enough defenders to bother us. I'm going to go back here and clear this up. Any people dumb enough to try to get on the cap are going to get wiped out by us, and then we're going to turn around and deal with whatever's left. Hey, look, there's a guy on the cap. And because we started turning around early and heading back, we're going to be in a very good position to deal with these guys. Coming up to this cap, in order to deal with them, I wish I would have actually gone down through the road, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up high and my turret's going to come up above this ground right here, and this dude's going to see me and I'm going to see him. The reason I say that, had I come right up the tracks, I'd have got around to where I'd had a shot, and more than likely I probably would have been able to shoot him. Now he knows I'm coming, he's able to avoid me. I could take Artie fire. The good news is the Bulldog went ahead and went up in cap and dealt with the Artie. So that's actually a good decision as far as I'm concerned. He went up here, did his scout thing, now he's bailing out. I don't really need him actually over here, because this is such a close-in fight for guys trying to jump on the cap. And it's another great example of capping in the wrong time. Now they could have thought potentially that, hey, this looks like our only chance based on the enemy tanks that are alive, so we're going to go ahead and just give it a shot trying to cap. But they probably would have been better off once they won their flank coming back, just like we did. But rarely do 2 teams actually do that. And Natso pushes in on these guys looking for the other dude. Gets another kill. He's racking up the kills. Alright, so now there's another discussion. Platoon coordination. So just to recap, we discussed at the beginning, hey, let's get into the town. We're a platoon. This looks like the best place to be. Let's clear up this flank and then more than likely go back unless these guys win handily up here, at which point we'll push toward the cap. Once we cleared it out, we had the discussion. We had several discussions in the town discussing how to take down various tanks and teamwork, coordinating fire and such, and then we had the discussion, hey, let's go back. And we all student body left, student body right back to the cap, and now we're having the third major discussion, what now? And I say, you know what, let's head back towards the town. So the 2 options are try to push across this field with a convoy and some scouts and a Saint Emile and a pilot. No thank you. That's killing ground. We can get a little closer over here. We have enough speed to get back if we need to. So for now, stick together, head off this way, and I'll actually ask the IS-2 to watch cap. I think in here he says, what's the plan? Has he already done that? Yep, okay, what now? I don't advocate very much typing in this game, but I'm actually going to do that right here. I'm going to give you a technique for typing. If you triple R and you're on a nice straightaway like this and you're not worried about being shot or imminently being engaged, just hit triple R, then hit return, then type in your stuff, and then come back to, you can see right there I just hit triple R where my tank kind of stuttered. I'll type it in. And off we go. Just a technique for you. And really, I just need him to see. It's sort of a sacrificial kind of thing. He doesn't have a lot of hit points, and if one of those scouts gets up there and spots him, one of the TDs might take him out, or maybe that fast scout gets in on him. Lots of things like that. But really, I just need him to be a tripwire, and I do appreciate that he accepted that role right there. And if they ask, I'll let them know what I think I want them to do. Not that I'm acting like I'm in control of it, but just saying he asked. So, kind of a crummy approach for me. A lot of side armor to him. I could have actually squared up, but I wasn't sure how far around this corner I was going to need to go to get the shot on him. Still not ideal. Just kind of back up right here. I got a longer reload, so I do have to work up through that. Come around. Oh, not enough depression, and that pretty lucky shot, but put another one in on him right there. Once we saw the Conway, there's another discussion going on, and I'm asking Natso, hey, can you get that Conway? He's got pretty good frontal armor, and no reason why he can't just come up over that top right there. LP Bronco is saying, yeah, I got this T-25. I don't want the Conway to get away, and Natso takes him down for his 5th kill. And now basically it's just time to go up to their cap. The IS-2 is hanging out right there. Now, if you're the IS-2 in this situation, a couple things going on right here. If you're the IS-2 in this situation, you see that we've cleared those 2 guys up. At this point, I don't really care what you do. If you want to push in and look for more hit points or whatever, obviously entirely up to you. Clearly, it's entirely up to you the entire battle, but if you're asking the question and looking for a release point, this is probably the point at which you could go do something else. You'll note that I also just got hit by the Emil, which was from this direction over this way. That gave me good SA on where he was, and based on our hit points and situation, there was no reason to not take that SA and just go right at this guy. And there was another discussion. So we're a platoon. I said, hey, I just got hit by the Emil over there. I gave him a point out, and then I think it was Natso or somebody else said, yep, I just got hit from there, or I just got spotted. And then once one of us got close enough down there to see him, there he is. Got Natso on one side, got me on the other. There's the 1375. Natso takes him out for his 6th kill. I miss on the run, looking for the prayer shot from that terribly inaccurate Chinese gun. And I believe Natso takes this dude down once more. Rate of fire on the Super Pershing is pretty fantastic, especially against light-skinned tanks. So 7 for Natso, 4 for LP. I'll have about 4,000 damage with no kills. Pretty nice job with the platoon, and a good example of coordinating. I discussed the things we talked about and the reasons we talked about it, and there's no reason why a lot of that wouldn't apply to pubs just as solo. Obviously you can't discuss it, but the ideas of go to your flank, win, go back to cap unless it's a very winning situation are always solid. Well, I hope you liked what you saw. Thanks LP Bronco, enjoyed the platoons. We did quite a few others. This happened to be one of the best ones. As usual, if you like what you saw, subscribe. Appreciate the support of the channel, and we will see you.